Tamara Cormier, registered kinesiologist and yoga therapist. I want to share with you today a dynamic hip sequence that can be great for both strengthening as well as finding mobility. I love this sequence either as a warm-up before another activity where you may be using those hips a lot. Something like hockey, maybe you're wrestling, doing jiu-jitsu, skating. These would all be great warm-ups. Hi, I'm Tamara Cormier, registered kinesiologist and yoga therapist, and today I want to share a sequence with you that is wonderful for your hips. I love this sequence for both the dynamic, strengthening aspects of it, as well as the range of mobility, so the different ranges that it moves you through. This sequence can be used as a standalone, so it's great for strengthening and mobility just on its own. It can also be great if you're looking for a way to warm up before an activity. You could certainly use this before things like weightlifting, hockey, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, skating, skiing, snowboarding. So especially as we get into our winter sports, this can be a great sequence for you to do to not only get your body warmed up, but also to bring a little bit of focus to the hips before you get into things. So let's get started. You're gonna need the space of about a yoga mat, but if you don't have a yoga mat, that's totally fine. You could be on just plain floor. And if you are on a yoga mat, we'll just use that for reference, you're gonna stand more towards the front of the mat. Start with your feet about a hip's distance apart. So from the front, I'm gonna take a look if you wanna feel where your hip bones are on the front of your body, and then think of a straight line coming down from there versus bringing your feet to the outside of the hip. So find the feet at about a hip's distance apart and make sure that's comfortable for you. If it would be comfortable to have the feet slightly wider or slightly closer together, then I would invite you to make that adjustment. Take a couple of breaths here with the arms just resting nice and easy at your sides. We're gonna start with the right leg. So you're gonna pick up the right leg, take a nice big step back. The back heel stays lifted away from the floor. Back leg is straight, front knee is bent. So you're in a lunge here. Hands can be on the hips. You could reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Or you can bring the arms into cactus pose, so where the elbows are bent at your sides. You have the option to stay here with the back leg straight, or to make things a little bit more dynamic, you can start to bend the back knee and then straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. One more time, bend the back leg, straighten it out. And then from here, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. We're gonna move into our warrior two. So start to pivot towards the right. Plant your right foot parallel to the back of your mat. Front knee stays deeply bent, arms come parallel to the floor. We're gonna do a little flow here. Again, the option, you can always skip the flows if you'd like and just hold the position. If you'd like to come along for the flow, you'll use an inhale to straighten the front leg, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, sink in, bend the front knee. Inhale, reach, exhale, sink. So we're moving here through the front hip, the front knee. Make sure that knee is tracking down the middle of your foot, keeping both feet in contact with the floor, moving through a range of motion that feels comfortable for you. So no increase in pain, but it's fine if you feel a stretch, as long as it's a tolerable intensity. The next time you come into your warrior two, you're going to stay there. Straighten that left leg. Turn all of your toes towards the long side of your mat. Bring your hands onto your hips. From here, you may need to adjust the feet a little bit closer together. They may be fine for where they are. Turn the legs out. Feel that movement coming from the hip. And then start to bend the knees. Again, tracking them down the middle of the foot. I always think of like a reverse thigh master here. So instead of my legs falling together, they're opening to the wall behind me. So sink in and stand back up. Arms can come into cactus and up. One more time. And then the next time you come down into your goddess pose, you're gonna stay here, keep the knees nice and bent. Then hinge your body forward and bring your forearms to rest on your thighs and let your bum sink a little bit here. You could even do some gentle swaying side to side, getting into the hips. And then bring yourself back to center. Good, let's bring the hands onto the thighs and we're gonna do a little bit of twisting. So you're gonna let your right shoulder drop in and then it comes back up, left shoulder and back up. All the while I'm not letting my knees knock in together. So they're staying in that turned out position. Just adding some movement through the upper body. Good, come back through center. Stand all the way up. Now you're gonna turn your left foot so it comes parallel to the back of the mat. Right leg is going to turn out so your toes are pointing to the short side of the mat. Bend your front knee, arms come into your warrior two. And then again, we're gonna flow here. Reach the arms up and sink in. Reach and sink. Good. And as you sink, you can really work into what your range of motion is. As you feel warmer, you may be able to go a little bit further, maybe not. I want you to focus on control, not just pushing for the sake of pushing. So the next time you come into your warrior two, stay there. Release the back heel away from the floor. Start to pivot towards the right leg into our lunge pose now on the opposite side. Hands on hips, reach up to the sky or cactus pose. And then start to bend the back knee and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Keep the legs straight. Step the back foot forward. Relax those arms. All right, we're making our way back to the other side. We're gonna move through things a little more quickly this time. Feet are about a hip's distance apart. Step the left leg back. Front knee bends. Reach the arms up, or perhaps they're in cactus pose. Bend the back knee and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Good, now open into your warrior two, pivot towards the left. Back foot comes parallel to the back of the mat. Front knee, or front foot, points towards the short side. Knees bent, and we're gonna flow here again. Reach and sink. Reach and sink. Reach and sink. Reach and sink. Good. Reach and sink. Stay in your warrior two here. Straighten the front leg. Turn the toes forward. We're coming into goddess pose. So all of the toes pointing the same direction. Then we're turning both legs out. Find your position and then bend and straighten. And you can choose here. Maybe you just sink into your goddess pose and you stay there. The next time we sink in, we are gonna stay there. Hinge forward, bring the forearms onto the thighs. Let your bum sink. Stay here, or maybe you just gently rock from side to side. You're in charge of the intensity, so if it's too intense, come a little bit out of the movement. And make sure it's still active here, so I want this to be really nice and controlled. Good. Let's bring the hands onto the thighs, and we'll do a few of our rotations. So right shoulder comes in, and then the left. Good. Use your hands to help cue you to keep those legs turning out. Good, come back through center. Stand all the way up, straighten those legs. Right foot comes parallel to the short side of the mat. Left leg turns out. Bend the knee. Reach the arms parallel, and then let's flow here. Reach up, sink in. Reach up, sink in. Reach, sink. Reach, sink. Let's do one more. Good, and then start to make your way into your lunge pose. Release your back heel away from the floor. Start to turn so that you're facing the left leg forward. Right leg is back and straight. Reach the arms up, bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. One more time. Step the back foot forward. Relax your arms. Notice how your hips are feeling. You could certainly move through that flow more than one time. You can cater how many times you do any of those bends and straightening those little flows that we interjected to really suit what you need. And I hope that you enjoy this. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and we'll be back soon with another video. Take care.